So what is important here is this. They are not talking about rules as something that we create, but something that we create, but in a non-conscious way by the interaction with others. So first we have here like an agreement. Second, that the emergence of social rules are a problem of interdependent choice problem. When we take a decision, we are thinking about or we create expectations about what the other people would say or would do in this situation, and we always are taking into account our expectations of other choices also. So they are talking about interdependent choice problems. Other point that I found a similarity with Hayek or with the Hayekian theory in general is that they consider bounded rationality. They really, or Alexander in particular, really criticize the assumption of perfect or logical rationality that other theories adopt, like the kind of homo economicus assumption. And he proposed a way of studying human rationality as a very limited cognition capacity, and that in general, our mind, he takes this concept from Simon, that is other author, and he says that in general, our mind has very small capacities to deal with the big problems, the big theoretical problems that in general we would have to deal. How we act in this world without having this kind of perfect mind and very big cognitive apparatus. Well, with this kind of simple heuristics, and with this, he talks about the rule of thumb. You know, this kind of okay, I will see what I have to do and like try to solve the problem in an intuitive way. And in general, we really do well with this kind of intuitive and simple heuristics. Another concept that I think that are pretty similar to Hayekian theory is that he talks about common knowledge. What is common knowledge for Alexander? He thinks that these heuristics that makes us simpler to solve our everyday problems. These heuristics encapsulate common knowledge in a comprehensive and readily apprehended form, which can be applied in contexts different of the one in which it was originally acquired. So we acquire a certain ability or certain mechanism to solve problems in a context, but then we use this mechanism to solve other problems in other contexts or in other situations. And this common knowledge, again, is not necessarily theoretical or logically constructed. And he also says, in many cases, we can find that we muddle over our way through life, relying on less than perfect calculation devices from heuristic and the rule of thumb, as I said before. Well, there's an author, an Italian author, that is Andreossi, that postulated that Hayekian points of view and evolutionary game theory points of view could be related. And I think that I agree with him. In which terms? I think that evolutionary theory, classical evolutionary theory, is very interesting and gives us the main framework to understand the evolution of institutions. But in general, they don't provide with precision in terms of what could be the learning rules or the way that specific institutions evolve in time or change. Well, I will not say all the points of what evolutionary game theory proposed in these terms. In the paper is all the complete list of them. But for example, they propose certain rules that could be the ones that individuals take into account when they change strategies. For example, I act in a way, and I could evaluate the results of my action, of my strategy, in evolutionary game theory terms, and see after a while what are the results of my strategy. And I compare these results, with the results of other strategies. And in this evaluation, I could see that other strategies are better to resolve problems or have better results, and in a way I imitate that strategy. So one of the different kind of learning rules that they propose are in terms of imitation and under certain kind of evaluation. Of course, there are subtle differences between each kind of learning rule. But what I would say about this is that I think that this kind of theory could provide the precision that Hume Hayek do not provide to us. You know, it's like perhaps it's not this theory in particular. Perhaps there are others that are better than this one, or perhaps that there are theories that never have not been written yet, or we can write those theories. But the point is that I think that these new evolutionary theories that are proposing certain models of interaction, of the importance, for example, I didn't say that, but the importance of the specific structure of the relations in certain societies, and the importance of certain key agents. Alexander is taking into account what is called an agent-focused model. You know, he does not only analyze the outcome in general, but also the role of each agent in their structure. And, for example, that certain key agents have more influence in other agents than the common agents, you know. So the role of these key agents, the role of the different kind of social structures, and, of course, the role of incentives in the structure. Of course, different incentives could provoke or could cause different results. So this kind of more precise explanation of evolution of rules, I think that could collaborate with our classical evolutionary tradition. Well, to conclude, I would like to say two things. The first one is that what I'm saying here is that if we are trying to think what could Austrian school could provide to us in the 21st century, I think that it could provide us with a very good ground to go on studying in these terms. And I think that Hayek in particular has a lot of notions that could help us to go on studying this phenomena. And that this is the first point. The second point is that perhaps we could do as like a kind of diffusion role of Austrian school. What we could do is to, when we see certain notions that were previously proposed by an Austrian author like Hayek, say it. You know, it's like, okay, you're talking about bounded rationality, you're talking about this personality, you're talking about this. Well, look, Hayek has said this before, like 6 years before you, and just cited it if it's okay. It's like a kind of political, academical aspect. And the last point I think I really invite you to do it. It's like perhaps we can work a lot drawing bridges between Hayek and other authors of Austrian school and other schools, and really establish a dialogue between this school and other schools. And I think that this could be the more fruitful position if you really want to. If we really want to enter in the current debate in social sciences. That's all. Thank you.